Hello, welcome back to Design Elements and Principles. Session 2, part 2. Let's get into it. All right, just gonna rehash some things. Session 1 will be closing in a week, and then you can't do anything if you didn't do something in session 1. Get it in now. Everything is due tonight at midnight from session 1. As we talk about, we have things that are due on Tuesday, things that are due on Thursday. It is separated out, so you know Tuesday's assignments, Thursday's assignments. That's when they're due the following day. Make sure you're on top of that. Don't fall behind. You fall behind, and then you're always just trying to catch up. Just get them in, be done, get caught up. Now's the time in the beginning. Spend the time now. So once you're like situated, you're just rolling with it. Then we just roll. Like there's a lot in that first week and you're like, oh, I was doing this, doing that. You got to set aside some time, ignore everybody else, get your stuff done, and then know like, okay, I know what I'm doing from here on out. But it is going to school. Like I said, like the 16-week time expectations, expect to spend about 9 hours a week with class stuff, with reading, like all the stuff per class. It's like each class is a full day's work. Consider it like that. All right. Don't forget to do your attendance. I mark it. If you turned in everything on time and I talked to you face to face, but you didn't do the attendance, you're absent. And the only way I can guarantee it. So if you forget to do that, then you might be absent. You might get dropped from the course. Make sure you're doing that. Video lectures now get put here. We went over the shape lecture on a Tuesday. So review that, all about shape. And you know about the mid-session reviews. Post your work early. Send it to me. Hey, how does this look? I'll look at it, tell you what to change, and to make sure you're getting an A and that you're learning along the way. Like, oh, now I know what he means. That's what he talks about. Like, oh, center this, align this, get it perfectly adjusted. Yeah, let's use that. It's a perfect way. Because the more you use this in the beginning, the less you need to use it later on, because you'll have it nailed and you'll know like exactly what to do. The Tuesday's assignments, shape research. Let's see those examples. A book cover, a movie poster, an album cover. It's always the same 3 items. For shape, I want shape to be the highlight of those. Got these examples of where shape is the highlight. This is the album cover. Look at, it's just rectangles. This book cover, look at those beautiful shapes. Even the illustration is all shape. And then I use that poster because, it's my example and I used it twice, but whatever, I can do it. But I just don't want to see any of my examples on your work. Makes me, you know what it says to me? They didn't pay attention to the lecture. They put in what I had. So just kind of make sure about that. And then the other one was read the point, line, and plane. And for these, again, I want to know what you think about it. It's not a summary. So when, and I have to say, and I'll stop saying this, but like, I don't want a summary of the chapter because I've read it too. I want to know what jumped out to you because that's the stuff you're going to remember. You're like, oh, this book and this thing stood out to me. And this is what, and then that's what you're going to remember. You're not going to remember the entire chapter. And tell me about it. 100 words is like 4 sentences. You're all good. Today, Thursday's assignments. Design practice. We're switching programs. You are going to now work in a program called InDesign. It's part of the Creative Suite. When we are graphic designers, we work in 3 to 4 main programs. The 4th one being if you do motion graphics. But the main programs, why don't I open this and just show you from here? This is the Creative Cloud. The main programs we use is Photoshop, which is the PS, and that's for editing photos. Or editing photos, making image-based design. That's what it's used for. We use InDesign. InDesign is set up for the best one it's used for is multi-page layouts. I've got something that's going to be 6 or 7 pages. I use InDesign. And then for single development and like logo and like one-offs and icons, you use Illustrator. So I would say the main two we use are InDesign and Illustrator. Photoshop is the backup. And then I mentioned that other one, and the other one is After Effects. You will also learn, and I don't know why it's not popping up here. You will also use After Effects, and that's for motion graphics. So yeah, and that's later on. But in this class, I'm going to introduce you to both Illustrator and InDesign. And just like the Illustrator practice from the first class, from the first week, where you're just moving, you know, you had the layout, everything was on the outside, and you moved it to the inside, you're going to do the same thing, but with a different program. So what you're going to do is you're going to open up the assignment, and you're going to click on the Jessica Walsh. I'm going to go all the way over here. I'm going to download it. Wait for it to download. I'm going to open up my downloads. I'm going to double click on this. For me, I double click. For a PC, you right click and then hit extract all. I'm going to open this up, and you have to open it twice. Ignore this _ Mac OS SX. I don't know why Mac puts in this folder full of, like, it's really nothing, but do not use that one. Use just this Jessica Walsh one. And just like the other in Illustrator, you have the main program file, the native file, and then the links. And these are images to the links. So it may tell you you need to link, and there it should just find them automatically. So I'm going to double click on Jessica Walsh. And I'm going to say this twice to everybody because I'll get this comment. I tried to open the Jessica Walsh thing and it wouldn't open in Illustrator. Well, it's not an Illustrator file. It is an InDesign file. We are working with InDesign. And it, you know, it's like right up here in the title, InDesign. Yeah, so it's InDesign. It is not, I'm trying to think of a way that I can make it more apparent that what you should use. So I'm going to double click on that and it'll open in InDesign. Now let me reset this. Your InDesign is going to look like this probably when you open it. And I want you to just do the thing. I want you to have it look like Illustrator. If you're in my Illustrator class, you know what I'm talking about. But this, I'm just going to have you move some things around to make it easier. So go to Window, and what we want to see is Control. So click on Control, and that brings up this upper panel with information. I'm going to go over here, and there's this little thing with the dots. I'm going to grab right below it and pull it to the side, and then click the X. We don't need that. Then I'm going to go to Window, Layers, and I'm going to pull this Layers. I'm just going to click and drag it over here. And when it turns blue, I'm going to let go. And I let go too soon. Turns blue, let go, and it adds it to that panel. And then you can take the links, and you can actually, if you wanted to, you put the links in with there. But I want you to be able to see the layers and the properties front and foremost in this. And you can set these up however you want over time. But it's really good to kind of like set it and forget it. The one thing you don't want to do, which I see, is like people will have like all these out, you know, and they'll work with all this stuff like all over, and then they give themselves this tiny little area, and then they're kind of like moving these things around, like, oh, I gotta move that. Don't have any of these palettes, or they're called panels. They used to be called palettes. floating around in the middle. Just the properties on one side and layers on the other. That's the minimum. And then you can have, I keep links open, I do keep pages and libraries, but that's it. Now, just like in Illustrator, you can zoom in and zoom out, and everything is here for you. And for this first project, all we're simply doing is using the select tool to grab items, move them where they need to go. Then we could zoom in. And if you want to, use the arrow keys on your keyboard to nudge it into place. It's simple. And this is why we're starting out like this. It's just like getting things. You'll be like, this is just like Illustrator. You move it and it goes into place. It locks into place. Now, there's sometimes, and this is only if you want to. I have to go to view. I always have to find it. Oh, man, I can't find it now. Never mind then. I'm looking for one thing that kind of bugs me. Was it extras? Show. Okay, this. Show. Okay, so view extras, show content grabber. Now, what that does is if I'm selecting, and you get that center circle when you go over an image, I personally hate that because if I grab and I mistakenly grab that, what you end up doing is moving the image within the box. And there's so many times I go and I want to move it. And where do I grab? I grab the center and I end up moving the picture. So I hate that little circle, and it's only in InDesign. Because I hated it, I was like, there's got to be a way to modify this. And so you go to View, Extras, and I looked it up, and I said, Hide Content Grabber. Now when I go over an image, it's not there, because I generally kind of click on the middle of things when I move them. So I was always moving it. The reason I'm telling you about that is for both programs, when you're using them, and the more you use them, you can Google search things about the program to find out how you can make it better. I do it weekly. I'm always like, if I'm working on something and I'm like, oh, I wish I could do this. And I just look it up and like, oh, you can. And then you just find it. I was working on stuff and I kept grabbing in the middle and moving my images. And then so I typed into Google, how do you get rid of that center circle thing on InDesign images? And Google told me it's called a content grabber and how to get rid of it. So as you develop your skills, know that there's ways to make these programs more customized to you and how you work. So there's just a little bonus there. So here we go. I'm going to now move these, and I don't have to worry. I can grab in the center and not worry about moving stuff. And I'm just going to put the pictures, and I'm going to get them to lock, like lock on that margin perfectly. Here, I'm going to do the same. And I'm watching for those lines to show up. And then look at that. In the green double arrows show that it's perfectly spaced in the middle. As long as those are showing, it's great. And then there's the other line that's showing it's perfectly centered. Then you just let go. Don't forget to put this red one in. Some people forget that one. Move it over so you don't forget. And then I just put in the text. I'm going to, nudge it up with the arrow key. Spacebar works. That spacebar grab and move. We're going to move this over. Get that perfectly centered. And there you go. You just kind of completed your first little set. Now for this one, I want to see the native file and a PDF. And it's just the smallest size PDF. So all you do is you go to File, Save As, and I'm going to save to my desktop. And I'm going to put it, I think it's JSCAJA _ so I have my name on it. I know it did it. Save it. And then I'm going to go to File, Export. It's a PDF. So the format is PDF. Actually, I'd like to see it in this way. So if it's on anything else, make sure it's on Adobe PDF Print, not interactive. It's saving to the desktop. And we hit Save. And then for this, I'll do smallest file size. View PDF after exporting. Make sure that's clicked. And then I'm going to hit Export. And then it's going to open this up. And there it is. And I can double check it. Everything looks good. I don't see anything that shouldn't be there. I don't see the blurry background. I checked it. I can turn it in. And it should be that simple. I'm going to close this. Don't save that. And I'm just going to go through it once more. Open it up. Everything is out on the sides. We want our layers showing so we know where everything is. Properties on the one panel. And then if we zoom all the way out, even the red background is there. Just far away. So make sure you don't forget the red background. And then all you have to do is grab and move and get things perfectly set. Grab and move that, and I'm going to use the arrow key. Put Jessica in. Put her body copy in. World famous designer, Jessica Walsh. Does stuff for Adobe, huge clients. Besides Adobe. Well, I'm going to put that one in. I'm going to put that one in last because I know these two snap to the margin, which means then this one I'll use, let the computer tell me when it's perfectly centered. Oh, I nudged it. Like I let go and it moved. There we go. Got to get that red background in. Don't forget the red background. And that fills in the whole space. Easy peasy. It'll take you longer opening InDesign and like looking and moving it than it should putting everything in place. Any questions about that? And everybody understands that this is InDesign, not Illustrator. All right. Nice. And it's just getting familiar with it, right? Because eventually you're going to be using this like every day. I use it every day. All right. Next up. Let's go to it. The shapes project. So we're dealing with shapes. Shapes are the fundamental element, as we talked about. We have a point, and a point becomes a line. And then you connect the lines and close it, it becomes a shape. What I want you to do for this project is using shapes, black shapes only. You are going to create 3 balanced compositions. Don't worry, I'll get into it. I'm going to do a couple with you. You're going to see what I mean. Create 3 balanced compositions using only black shapes. Then you're going to create 3 unbalanced compositions only using the black shapes from the balanced compositions. So it's almost like you're going to be telling a story. You're going to make something balanced on the top and then those same shapes unbalanced on the bottom. It'll be easy peasy. I've provided the document for you. You don't have to do anything. You open the document I gave you, and then you work into that. Open the provided Illustrator document. Review the layer panel of the document. You'll be using your artwork here layer. This is green. You will not be using the margin examples turn off or delete layers. These layers are in red. You can turn off the icon box on the red layers before you start. And then you can turn on and off the white cover layer as needed. This is the blue layer, but you should have it on before you complete the project. All right. Let's download this file. Then I'm going to go to my downloads. And I'm going to open it. Now we have balanced, unbalanced, 01, balanced, unbalanced, 02, balanced, unbalanced, 03. So here's my first example, but we need to play around a little bit. So I'm going to lock text boxes. Here's why. You don't need to change any of this. You're not like typing in anything, so you can lock text boxes. And then you have your artwork here. Why are those black? Oh, I have things locked. All right, perfect. It's all good. Your artwork here. Now, but Joel, I've never used Illustrator before. All right, except for that one project you had us do last week. Well, you're going to look for on the side, and if you're brand new to Illustrator, your toolbar will probably look like Getting Started, in which you'll have all the shapes here. You can make a square, you can make a circle, you can make an octagon, but this is magic. The octagon's magic. That's actually a hexagon. I apologize. Square. Squares are rectangles. To create a rectangle, I simply drag and pull. Now, the first thing I want you to do when you do your first practice rectangle, where you drag and pull, is I want you to go over to properties and make sure your properties open, and I want you to set the fill of black and the stroke to nothing. And I'm going to double check this on your assignments. I don't want any stroke. I just want the fill to be black. And from here on out, when I draw shapes, they will from now on be black. So I draw another I can draw a tall rectangle. I can draw a long rectangle, but I want a square. All you do is hold down Shift and draw a perfect square. That's how you do it. Hold down Shift, drag, and pull a square. Now you can see, because after I drew the first one and I set the parameters, it's just fill with no stroke. Again, I'm going to check that. I don't want stroke on those. And then you can take these, and just like when you go to the select or the select tool, this is direct select, this is select, and you click on something, you can change it, or I can resize it. If I go from the corner and hold down Shift, or even if I go from the center and hold down Shift, it constrains it. If I want to change the dimensions of it, then I don't hold down Shift. But if I want to keep it the same proportion, I hold down Shift. And then when you get to a corner, see that it changes to a little arch? I can click and then spin. But if I hold down Shift, it spins it on 45-degree angles. So it makes life a little bit easier there. I got to change my cursor after this class. So to make a square, you go to this rectangle, you hold down Shift and you drag. To make a rectangle, you just drag, click and drag. So that's how you use that. Circles, exactly the same. Ellipses, proper name is ellipse. If I want what we term as an oval, I just click and drag. I want a tall oval, click and drag. I want a perfect circle, just like with the rectangle, I hold down Shift and I click and drag and I get a perfect circle. And again, when you go to the select tool, if I want to resize it, I hold down Shift and I can move it. I can resize it with Shift, and I can adjust the size of it by not holding Shift. But always, for the most part, just always get in the habit that your fingers always hovering above shift. Constrain it. If you want that shape and you want to keep it, just hold down shift. Don't start like guessing at like, I think that's a smaller circle. No, that's an oval. So you undo it, and then to make a smaller circle, you hold down shift and you just make it smaller. You can know you're holding down shift too, because on the circles, those lines show up of where the perfect middle is of that. So drawing ellipses, super rad. You can do it any way you want, and then you want a perfect circle, you just hold down shift. Play around, make a bunch of them. Here's the magic, hexagon. I'm going to start by just holding down shift and making a hexagon. I'm going to zoom in. Doesn't help a lot me zooming in, but you might be able to see more detail. Now, but Joel, this is a hexagon. What the hex am I going to do with this? I need a triangle or I need an octagon. Over here on the edge, right here. I switched up my thing. It's like right here on the edge. See it there? That little, there, when I get near it, a plus and minus comes up. Well, what does that mean? If I grab it and move up, it tells me how many sides I'm getting. And I let go wherever I want. And as I go down, more sides. Pretty cool. So that's how you create that. Like, you know, so you start with the hexagon or whatever it starts with, and you click there and you hold down shift and you get a hexagon, and you're like, but I want a triangle. You just move the slider up to triangle, and now you have a perfect triangle. And just like everything else, you can hold down shift and I can scale it. I can turn it, have it be upside down. Can do it with this one. You know, get it upside down. Awesome. Awesome stuff. Now, for this one, so that's how you do like beyond a square. That's how you get from 3 sides up to 100 sides. I don't know how many you can go. 11. You might even be able to do more under. There's a secret area, and you can go even like you can go to 20 sides. And that's under transform. There's 3 little dots, and there's even more information here. And then, if you're so inclined, you can make stars. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to hold down shift. And there's my star. And now, with the star, you can do some fun stuff. I want more. Or I want less. And it's the same slider on the side. And these are shapes. You can use these as shapes. Later on, I'll show you the other details you can do. But it's kind of fun. The thing I want you to notice is if there's a little triangle on the tool item, that means there's more hidden underneath. So check that out and know like, oh, wait, where did he find that star? If there's a triangle, you click and hold and it'll open up a new panel. So that's how you use the shapes in Illustrator. Play around first, and then come on over and start playing around on the compositions. So here, as my example, which you can turn off, it's in the red layer, examples, and it says turn off. If you actually double click, you can see that. I have a triangle sitting on a block. And that's balanced. It seems heavy. It's there. It's situated. Cool. Then for my unbalanced, I just copied and pasted down here and moved the triangle so it looks like the triangle is like falling. It's unbalanced. We have this sense that here the triangle is like solid. It looks like it's parked. It's balanced. Here it looks like it's about to fall off. It's unbalanced. Let's play around with some of these. Let's make some other ones. So we could do, I'm gonna do a square. I'm holding down shift. And I'm just gonna start simple. There's a billion ways you can do this. And I'm kind of using, like I had it center up. I just moved around, had it center up. And then I'll do the same example, but with a circle. Now I'm gonna put the circle right there. Now, what all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna copy and paste. So I have the exact same, and I can line it up. And then for this one, you know, like put the, like right there on the edge, like it's rolling over. You know, like now we get like here it seemed like, well, it's balanced on there. Oh, actually, maybe if I centered it, it would even be more like feeling even better anchored. And I'm watching, if you see, I'm watching for these purple lines and that centered. So there we go. There's another one. It's just a circle and a square for balance, and then the same circle and square for unbalanced. Let's do another one. Oh, this is a fun one. It's winter. I made a circle. I'm gonna delete what I just did there. I'll tell you right now, I know it's way too big. I'm gonna make it smaller. I'm gonna hold down shift. And then I'm gonna copy and paste, but I'm gonna do a secret shift option, drag, which will make it smaller. And then I'll make it smaller. And I'm gonna hold on, shift option and click and drag. This is that part where I'm like, you need a mouse because you need to be able to click, drag, while the other hand is holding shift and option. And that's on a Mac. It's similar on a PC. I just don't have the keyboard in front of me to tell you the controls, but I do it naturally, back and forth. And then I'm gonna make this smaller. And I have a little snowman. I'm gonna take all three of those. I'm gonna click and drag through all three. I'm gonna copy and paste, put it down here. And then some meanie came by and pushed over my snowman, and it went from being very balanced to being unbalanced. Jerk. Who knocked over my snowman? So another same three shapes, balanced, unbalanced. You can do the random, unrandom. So let's do a weird shape. So for balanced, I'm going to hold down shift and option. I'm going to make another one. And then I'm going to do command control and D, which is duplicate. There's an object. You can go to duplicate. I can never know where duplicate is. I know the key command. And then I'm going to grow that a little bit more. Then I'm going to do, I clicked all three. So what I did is I grabbed all three of these. I'm going to click, drag, hold shift and option and make another set. Whoops, I went too far. So just put them back. Put them back. And then shift and option. Now these don't quite fill the space. I want them to fill the space. So I'm going to extend them. I want them drawn out like that. I know what I'm doing here. So this is my bounce. I'm going to take all of these. And then this one, I'm just going to move them all. Like they're clear. And I'm like, twist some. I'm going to turn some. Just stack them up. I can make some smaller. I want to keep the proportion, but I make some smaller. smaller. It's the exact same shapes. And if you do this on the layer, don't do what I'm doing here. You can put stuff underneath, you know, and then like, and it's just like chaos. And there we go. Oh, and then, yeah, and then this guy, he's going to be small and like falling and then like rotated. So like super balanced, same exact shapes, unbalanced. It's like somebody knocked it over. Knock it over. We can do another one. And it's just shapes. Oh, you know, the famous one. I should stop doing it because I don't want to take your ideas. I'll do a partial one and then I'll stop. Simply because, like I said, I don't want to take your ideas. And then, like I said, like Thursday's lectures are going to be a little shorter because I don't have the whole other part of the lecture. But I want to make sure you're understanding what to do. I got the octagon. I'm holding on shift. I'm going to pull on that sidebar. That's going up. I want 3 sides. Does everybody know where I'm going with this one? And then you put a bar across. Well, we all know where we're going with this one. You know, like, and then, you know, go with it. I'm not going to go any further with that. So that's what I want you to do. I'm going to move this so it looks correct to you. Again, your artwork here is on the artwork layer. You don't have to worry about the text boxes. And then I want balanced, whatever shapes you use them in the unbalanced. And I just want 3 quick compositions in which you're exploring and using the shapes and you're trying all those parts, holding down shift, holding, you know, making more sides, less sides, play around, start to have some fun with this. You have plenty of time to play around. Give yourself, you know, I think what I put like an hour and a half or 2 hours for this project. They'll get more difficult as we go, but this is still, again, the introduction. So there you are. Any questions, comments, or concerns about this part of the lesson? All right, excellent. So again, I'm just going to recap before I leave for everybody about everything for session 2, so we don't forget anything. Attendance. That's how I mark attendance. If you don't do it, you're absent. Even if you turned in every project, you're like, but I turned in everything. I'll be like, yeah, but you didn't turn in the attendance. That's how I mark it. I look blindly. I blindly go through. Boom, boom, boom. And I kind of blindly go through the assignments. I don't know who you are, what you're doing. I just, you did it correct. You did it, you know. So attendance, make sure you do it. This is how I do it. You get dropped from the course and you got to go through a whole big thing. Video lectures. A lot of you are watching it. Go back, rewatch. If you haven't watched, I've had to send out the messages. Like, make sure you watch it. I teach you how to do everything. And if you just go and read it without watching it, you're not going to fully understand it. The instructions, I think, are very well written. But if you've never used a program, make sure you watch the video lectures. I will post 2B shortly. If you want to review the shape lecture, it is here for you to review. If you're not understanding what I meant by shape, if you watched the lecture and you want to see my, if you watch the video lecture and want to see it, the visuals again. Mid-session project review, use this. I check it right now. I've been able to check every day, even Saturdays and Sundays. Sometimes if it gets busier, I can't always check weekends, but I very much try to. Generally, it's just the least I'll do is one of those 2 days. It shouldn't affect anything for us. Just kind of know, like, if you saw that I checked on Saturday, I might not check on Sunday. So it's kind of like, then you just kind of wait till Monday and I'll check again. So that's how it works. Tuesday's assignments are due on Tuesday of next week. Thursday's assignments due on Thursday of next week. for this week, I already graded all of Tuesday's assignments because they were due on Tuesday. Last week, Thursday assignments are due tonight at midnight, and I'll grade them tomorrow. Anything after midnight is late and gets considered to be late, and then gets a grade reduction. Again, if you're unsure, this is how I grade. Don't forget discussions. Discussions is a full letter grade. So you could do the best work ever, not look at peer work, and then be like, well, why did I get a B if he said this is perfect? Because I write underneath for the first week or two, you forgot to do peer reviews. And then later on, I just stop writing that because you're far enough into the semester that I shouldn't have to write. And I'm just assuming you just don't want to do them and you're accepting a B. So cool. Again, reach out to me if you have any questions, comments, or concerns. Come on in. I've been stating this, and I think it's in messages. This is because I'm on the other messages. Here, let me exit this, discard, messages. Got my campus hours. I wrote you all a message. Monday, 8:30 to 12:15. Tuesdays, 8:30 to 4. Wednesdays, 8:30 to 4. Thursdays, 8:30 to 4. That's when I'm here on campus. You come in and work in these rooms, or you go down to the computer area, and they are Monday through Thursday, 8 to 7 p.m., Fridays, 8 to 4:30 p.m. So those are all the computer hours that I know about that are available if you don't own your own computer and don't have the software. So there is, according to the class and the hours needed, there is ample available computer lab time for you to use to get the projects done. So wonderful. Thank you. Have a great weekend. If I don't see you on the discussion boards, have a great weekend, and I will talk to you next week, Tuesday. All right. Again, reach out to me if you have questions, comments, or concerns. All right. Take care. Bye-bye.